It is Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023, and the world is changing. Everything's falling apart. The Brics nations are meeting, and they're going off the dollar, pegging it to gold. No, they're not. It seems a little underwhelming, this whole Brics meeting. There's a big pump up to it, and there we go. X is in the sky again. Yep. Playing fun and games, making artwork up in the sky with airplanes. Ah, boy. It's going to be hot. It's already hot today. The low temperature overnight, we might have set an all-time high for the highest low temperature. I think it was 75, and they were saying we're going to get down to 77 overnight. Today's supposed to be 98, 99, heat index, like 110, 115. Pretty much one of the hottest places in the country right now. I was looking around the country, and right here, we're just as hot as anybody else. That's Illinois weather for you. All that Gulf moisture pushes up, all that heat from the south pushes up in the summer, and in the winter, you get all that Canadian blast, is polar vortex coming down at us. Kind of right in the middle where we can take it all. Oh yeah, let's pass in a no passing zone. Always a good idea. Might have to turn the camera around if something happens. Well, unfortunately, they made it. I have patience, I'm going to wait. I know the heat, it's brutal for some people. It's not easy. I took the dogs out yesterday and it wasn't as hot. It was pretty miserable. But they didn't like to be out too long. Get me back in the air conditioning. One of the greatest things ever invented. Compressed air conditioning. Awesome stuff. That and, I don't know, what else? Microwave? It's not the best invention. Actually, the microwave might be one of the worst inventions we ever had, just from the standpoint of now we have no patience. We don't wait for our dinner. You know, it used to be you'd have to prepare and think, okay, what are we going to have for dinner? We need to prep it. Hey, if we're going to make bread, we got to, you know, put the yeast in it, let it rise, and room temperature and all that stuff, and get it ready, and then we'd cook it. It was an all-day thing. Prep all the vegetables, cut it all up, you know, and just everything had to be prepared, and it takes X amount of time to cook it in the oven to get it done. I mean, you had to prepare, and that's why, you know, dinner was such an important meal because, hey, I put all this work into this. Sit down at this table and eat. And then you got to have good conversations of what happened to you today? Why were you all screwed up? Why did I get a call from the principal? But it kind of gathered everybody around a collective space because, you know, a lot of work went into it, and it was a pinnacle point of the day. What's for dinner? Now, I mean, there is no set dinner time. There is no set time anymore for most places, most people. You go to work, you pick something up fast food, you call, hey, what do you want for dinner? Oh, I'll pick up Chinese. Or you throw in, you know, you get hungry during the day, you know, you grab a snack that's pre-wrapped, you know, you throw something in the microwave. There's an animal up here I want to see. I saw it. It looks like a big animal. Hang on. Stand by. Westwood doing some reporting. Oh, damn it. It's a dog. Damn it. I hate to see that. It's a big dog, too. It looked kind of like a little bear when I went by. I'm like, what is that thing? It's a dog. Brutal. Anyway. Hate it when any animal gets killed. You know, senselessly. Any animal. Well, that's why I have a certain lifestyle. All right, so the heat, yeah, it's just gonna get hotter and hotter. But dinner time, yeah, the whole preparation thing. You know, we used to take time and give it some thought. And okay, what are we gonna? You know, how do we need to do this? How long does it need to take? Now it's just in time. Everything's just in time. We want everything right now, and we can have everything right now. Whatever we spread on the fields yesterday, it doesn't smell like manure. It's something else. Yeah, it just reeks over here. Terrible. It's bad stuff. Ugh. Can't see what it is. I mean, it's like a compost pile with manure and I don't know, just like rotting vegetation. Oh, it's nasty. All right. So yeah, we don't take the time to do anything anymore. We want it done right away. We want to make sure that I mean, when we're hungry, we've got it. I mean, everything's boxed up, everything's in packaging. It's just, and all that stuff is not good for you, and you wonder why our health isn't very good. It's obvious. I think a lot of the stuff is obvious. It's just that we've both been so entrained to participate in this system because we're in a hurry all the time. Gotta get this done, gotta get this done. Need fast food. You know, oh man, I don't have time to go home and cook. Oh, I can't, you know, just throwing it in the microwave or putting it in the oven or, you know, making a pizza. It just takes too long. I'm just gonna grab something. I'm hungry right now. You know, and it's just miserable food. It's garbage food. And the thing is, it has no nutrients in it. So you continue to be hungry after you eat it because your body's not getting any nutrition. So it's like, put something else in me. I need more nutrition. I didn't get any from that one. I feel like crap, though. Thanks a lot, loser. And so if you eat something healthy with nutrition, you're just kind of like, okay, you know, I don't feel full, you know, or bloated kind of thing, but the body's like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. But when you get that lack of nutrition, you're just putting, I don't know, just dumping waste in your body, just filler. It's like you're a landfill. There's nothing to be salvaged from this. Your body can't take any nutrients out of it, so it wants more. And so pretty soon you're just eating more and more and more because you're just like, I just need something else. I feel like I'm not satisfied. My body's not satisfied. Anyway, probably preaching to the choir on that. But that's my hot take on it. Hot cakes, hot takes for breakfast. Hot takes on a Wednesday. Can I get my hot takes to go, please? All right. The Brics thing, kind of looks like a dud to me. Now, it doesn't mean that things aren't happening. It's just, obviously they're happening because you've got they're partnering and trading their assets and what they have in their own currency. But to think that the dollar is going to die overnight, I mean, Xi Jinping didn't even show up for the first day. That is the foreign minister or whatever give the speech. You know, China. And then Putin can't go because he'll get arrested, some Rome International Court thing. He goes to South Africa and they have to arrest him. It's just a joke. And so he had to do a video teleconference, you know, and give a speech. So I don't know. The whole thing was made out to be this great, oh, it's going to destroy the dollar, this and that. I'm of the belief that we will destroy the dollar. The issuers of the dollar are doing just fine committing suicide with the dollar. I think that's probably what's going to happen more than likely. Because, you know, right now we're so tied to the dollar. Everything we do, the world is full of dollars. It's kind of hard to get away from them because everything's been tied to the dollar. Everybody has dollars. Everybody knows what the dollar is. It's universal. And yeah, it's a piece of crap. It's going down, but you know what? Still the best horse in the glue factory, baby. The cleanest dirty t-shirt. And that's, so it makes it difficult. No, I think we'll destroy the dollar all on our own. And when stimulus, I guess, is the thing now. Excuse me. When's the next big stimulus bomb? Because they're going to have to do it. I mean, see, they've done their job. They've made it look like, oh, we're being good stewards of the economy. We're fighting inflation. We're going to continue to raise rates until we tamp down inflation and stop it in its tracks. So they put on a pretty good show. They really have to admit. They did it longer than I thought they would. And, you know, there's real effects in the economy. The economy's not strong at all. All we need is just that little tipping point moment, that little thing that kind of pushes us over the cliff. Could be a banking collapse, crisis, hack, whatever, you know, in the banking system. Could be another pandemic, which is already in the works. And the key is to that. We need to get our information out there and talk about it now that, hey, they're going to push this thing out again. They're going to have COVID 2.0. Be prepared for that. And when it does happen, are you going to sit there and say, oh, okay, we better buy some more masks and get ready? Get in line, you know, get your drive-through test. What's the point? What's the point in doing all this and repeating the same stuff again? So we just need to be prepared and roll out ahead of time so that it kind of preempts them. It front runs them on their narrative. I mean, they're trying to put it into place right now. Their school's already closing. There's a school in Georgia, I think in the Atlanta area, I can't remember the name of it, that they're going back to a masking policy, and, oh, we need to social distance and follow all these rules and all this garbage and crap that they want to throw at you. They're just going to try and do it again because that's what they know. Now, are we going to take it? Are we prepared for it this time and say, okay, I'm calling your bluff, it's BS, we're not doing this? All we have to do is say no. That's it. If enough people just said no, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What are they going to do? They're going to throw everybody in jail? Good luck with that. I'll just go to Mexico and then just cross without any paperwork, and then I'll get put up in a nice hotel and get $2,200 a month. That's what I'll do. I'll become a non-resident alien, baby. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I look for them to pull some shenanigans to try to bail us out of this mess. I mean, they want to start printing money again because that's really where they get a lot of their power. It's the ability to control the flow of money and to inject it in certain directions. And that's how they, that's how we get this, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer and the middle class evaporates. I mean, that's, it's because they can direct the flow of the money. That's what they want to do. But they may let it go for a while in order to get enough pain in the system to where, oh, housing's really coming down. Oh, crap, the assets are really falling. And then they print the money, and the people that, first in line to the water fountain or the fire hose, they get the water first, then go out there and buy up all the assets and drive the price of it up before it trickles down to us when we get our stimulus checks in the form of a CBDC. They may attempt at this point, central bank digital currency. They may try that, but either way, it doesn't matter. By the time we get it, all the sharks and the whales, they've already gotten a hold of it, and then they've already purchased up and gobbled up all the assets and driven the price up. So by the time we get our free money, it doesn't do as much. It doesn't have the purchasing power because they drove the price of the houses up 50% because they bought them all up because they had access to the money first. And then we come in and like, oh, crap, dropped by 50%. Now it went up 50%. Didn't help me a bit. Meanwhile, everything else, the cost of everything else goes up. You're paying $7 a gallon for gasoline, and frozen pizza's $10, and the money that you got just evaporated. Because that's what it does. It's all artificial. It's all fictional money. Debates tonight. I mean, geez, I can't even. So we got 8 people debating, and they don't even collectively have as much in poll numbers as the guy not showing up. I mean, what is going on here? What is happening in this world? And, not to disparage any of them, but here's my opinion. My opinion on the ones that actually might have a voice. Ron DeSantis, I like what he's done in Florida. He should stay in Florida. I mean, he's going to be a better governor than a president because going and running for president it's not what it's cracked up to be, bro. You're not going to have the power you think you have. You're going to get stonewalled by all these entrenched agencies that have just continually just sucked the power out of anybody that wants to go in there and do any good. Stay home in Florida, make Florida great. Keep Florida great. Fight the government that way. You've got sovereign powers as governor. You should fight the government that way and make Florida a sanctuary. Make Florida what America is supposed to be. Defend the rights of the people there. Just my opinion. This Vivek, I don't even know, Ramaswamy, I'm not even sure what his name is. I've listened to him. He's a very intelligent guy. He's very well presented to Obama. He's like the Obama of the Republican Party. I don't trust him. Just my gut feeling. He says all the right things, and I'm not with him. Not with him. Everybody that says all the right things is not really the kind of person I like. I want somebody a little rough, a little more of a bull, a little more honest. I just don't know that he's 100% honest. All right. A couple others. I mean, Nikki Haley, not a chance. Just not a chance. She's a globalist, warmonger, supports the war in Ukraine. Bye. Asa Hutchinson, weak, completely weak, flip-flopper. Chris Christie, I mean, you just joined the Democratic Party, bro. I mean, you're just a sycophant, a suck-up, just somebody who wants his airtime. I mean, you don't have a chance. You know, he's the policy of bashing the other candidate, you know, to try and make himself feel better. Whatever. Mike Pence, why are you even in the race? You've got the personality of a frickin' brick wall. I mean, nobody wants you. I mean, you got to realize he's the antithesis of Trump at this point. Anybody who likes Trump does not like Pence. And that's just kind of the way it is. And you can hide behind all your religious Bible thumping that you're a great person and all the histrionics that you put out there. I don't trust him. I think he's a phony, a fraud. Just my opinion. He's not the kind of guy that I would sit down and actually trust what he says to me. I think he's too scripted, too political. He's a Washington swamp creature. Doesn't have a frickin' chance. And I don't even know who else is in it. There's a couple more candidates that are essentially irrelevant. The only thing that really matters is, I mean, what's Trump going to do? And that's just the way it is. He's got the spotlight. He is the candidate, and that's just the way it is. Like it or not, he is going to be on the Republican ticket. My bigger issue, so this debate tonight, I don't know. It'll be, get your popcorn. It'll just be entertaining, I guess. I think more people are going to watch the Trump and Tucker Carlson interview. Tucker Carlson, with all of his interviews that he's done, is a real learning experience. If you want to get up to speed on what's going on and what has happened, get on Twitter, which is now called X. Get on that platform and follow Tucker Carlson and watch all of his interviews. He's got like 18 now. And it's you'll learn a lot from the people he brought on. Very important stuff. Points out all the things, all the truth that he could not tell on Fox News. Tried to, but it got him fired. It's an education. I mean, that is a college level class at that point. You know, probably a graduate class. Go ahead and watch those interviews, and you will learn a lot of what's going on. I mean, he's got some very interesting people on. And now he's going to have Trump on. So that it should be a good watch. We'll see if anything's different with Trump. Who knows? We'll just see what happens, I suppose. My bigger thing, what's more interesting to me is what's happening on the Democratic side. You know, Biden's obviously just a complete failure, a disaster, insensitive. It's all about him. He's a crime boss. He's truly a criminal who needs to be impeached. But then you got the cackling clown behind him that comes up the ranks, you know, and then McCarthy's right behind that, you know, if both of them get taken out. So, I don't know where that leaves us, but more than anything, what I'm concerned with, or I should say interested in, as far as theater goes, is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Who are the Democrats going to run? Because I don't think they can run Biden again. I mean, they can say they're going to, but I think he's got to step down. He's got to exit. He's just incompetent. I mean, he really is incompetent, and it's obvious. Whole world sees it. Everybody sees it. Everywhere he goes, he stumbles, and he's very fragile. He barely moves around. He's that guy in a nursing home, man. That's kind of where he's at. And, so we got the most expensive nursing home for this geriatric, senile guy that is running the country, supposedly. I don't think so. So, which raises the question, if he doesn't seem competent to run the country, who's running the country? I mean, what forces behind the scenes that are not elected are running the country? You got to ask yourself that. I mean, this thing doesn't run itself. There's got to be some decisions made at some point and actions taken. Who's running it? Who's really running the country? Because it's not Joe Biden. And it can't be Kamala Harris. She's the most circular speaker I've ever seen. It says the same thing 3 different ways. It reverses it though. Well, let's go this way and then go back this way. And then we're done. Cackling witch. Montel's girlfriend, Montel Williams, used to have the talk show. Pictures of her on Montel's arm. I remember he went to some award show and, had 2 women on his arm. One was Kamala with her, hanging out all over. Oh, this is your vice president. You can't make this up. It's all theater. All right, but yeah, RFK, he's a serious guy. He wants to have serious discussions. He's gone very in-depth and researched things and is passionate and cares about them. Doesn't get upset, though, and yell and scream. Can't really do that, so maybe that's a blessing in disguise. But he is very factual, has a lot of information that he pulls out just like that. I mean, very knowledgeable on a wide array of subjects, is willing to have a debate, willing to have the discussion, I think willing to find the truth. And I admire that. I like that. Somebody who wants to find the truth, and that's what they're all about. I think he's one of those guys. So he'll at least have the discussion and open it up. And I think at the end of it, you can convince him if he's not right, because he's willing to do the research. And I really do. I think he's searching for the truth. So that would be a very interesting candidate. And I guess the dilemma is, what are Democrats going to do? They're going to put up Gavin Newsom against a guy like RFK? Man, I think people are done with slick. We're done with the polished politician look. We want somebody else that's honest. That, hey, let's look at how effed up things are and let's see if we can fix them. Government has not been serving us. Let's make sure that it does. Let's figure out how to force it to do what it's supposed to do. I think RFK resonates, and puts that message out and exudes that message. So should be pretty interesting to watch the Democratic side of things. I think the Republican side, it's just a foregone conclusion. I don't think anybody cares. I don't think it really matters because Trump's the candidate. The only thing they can do is try to get him to the point where he's unable to run in the election. I don't even know, even if you throw him in jail, how is he not, is he unable to run for the election at that point? I think it just takes he has to be, what is it? Congress has to basically say no and vote that, he's done something so bad that he can't be president anymore. I don't know how they're going to stop the guy. I really don't. He's got the numbers, and it's just, I don't see any way to stop it. I don't see how he can screw up so badly that people are going to, for God's sakes, he said, take the shot. And he said, take the shot, the killer shot. He said it, and his numbers are up higher than they ever have been. And he rolled out the COVID vaccines, Operation Warp Speed. Now I get it. Listen, I get the other narrative of this, that, hey, they wanted to drag this thing out for 10 years, inoculate us all the time, boom, 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 basically enslave us for forever, for 8 years of Hillary. I get that. And, by him doing this, he forced their hand and made them roll it out and really put them on the defensive. I get that. We may be talking, warfare that's 5D chess, that kind of thing. I totally get that. But you got to look at it on the surface. He did say, go get the prick. Did he need to say that? Just leave that up for debate. All right. But did it make anybody go get it? No, it didn't make me go get it. So you got to look at it that way. It's like, hey, you go think for yourself. And I don't give a crap what this guy says. Just think for yourself. That's why I always say, trust yourself. You can like certain things about a candidate and then other things you cannot like. It's just the overall, is there an overall trajectory of good if that person's running the show, as opposed to an overall trajectory of going right down the porcelain like we do with Biden. We never have, it's always the lesser of two evils. That's always the choice that we seem to have to make. I think that, don't get too upset by it. It's going to be what it's going to be. See, we had lockdowns under Trump. Now we can say it wasn't Trump, it was the governors. Okay, then we need to focus on our governors and our local people. Because if the local people are locking us down, the local schools are shutting us down because the governor says he's going to pull funding, okay, now we know what to focus on. We need to figure out, okay, what are our decisions here? Do we say, F you, governor, we're going to do what we want, you pull the funding? Or as an administrator, maybe you're a little more savvy and say, yes, we're enforcing the mask mandates, but don't enforce the mask mandates. I mean, there's ways to, and this is what's upsetting, that so many people went along with it, even though they didn't believe in it. Administrators and officials, authorities, they went along with it and allowed it to happen and enforced it. Just don't enforce it. Lisa and Sean talked about this yesterday on their show on Litecoin Lisa's channel, about sheriffs. You know, Sean was bringing up sheriffs and the gun thing. You know, Illinois, the governor signed some gun legislation. The sheriff says, we're not enforcing it. If the sheriff says, we're not enforcing it, it's not going to get enforced. And the district attorney says, we're not prosecuting this stuff. Okay, so the sheriff's not going to arrest you for it, and the district attorney's not going to prosecute you for it. You win. You just disobey an unconstitutional order or a statute that's not constitutional. It's that simple. And so what's upsetting is you can have a school administrator that totally believes these things are completely wrong, but, well, I have to follow orders because, you know, I have to go fight it in court. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't have to fight any of this crap in court. You just don't do it. I mean, in practice, it becomes what it is. I mean, that's the way it's done. Common law, you know, tradition. So it's, don't enforce it. If you don't believe in it and it happens again, don't enforce it. And it's not just this, it's everything. You know, if somebody's carrying out a usurpation of the rights of the people and you have an opportunity as an intermediary to stop it, you should stop it. And if you don't, you're part of the problem. I mean, and you have to deal with that. That burden's on your soul. You've done that to other people. When you had a chance to stop it and say no, all you were was a SS officer, part of the Gestapo, part of the, you know, part of the Nazi party, just following orders. I mean, why would you want to be that? I mean, you look at history and you say, well, I wouldn't have done that. I never would have pulled the Jews into the gas chamber and flipped the switch. I never would have loaded them on the cars. I never would have pointed them out, you know, and had them arrested. Didn't do anything to stop it when you had the opportunity. We're in the same situation now to a lesser degree, and maybe not a lesser degree at some point. If you have an opportunity to stop it, then stop it. And you don't have to make yourself a target all the time. You know, you got to figure that out on your own. Some people are like, F you, I don't care, kill me. You know, other people are like, all right, I really don't want to die. So this is how we're going to work around the system. I mean, you had an underground railroad here in the United States where you had people who own businesses, politicians even, you know, people of authority in society, and they're breaking the law. Hey, you don't let those slaves go. Those slaves are property. But instead, they're putting them in basements and hiding them out in hotels and sneaking them out in the dark of night, you know, getting them out of the country to Canada, getting them to other places, you know, other states to where, you know, and it's breaking the law. But on the surface, hey, I'm doing everything right. But, you know, there's always a little wiggle room to where we're going to do the right thing, but not at the sacrifice of yourself. Because, you know, if you get out there in public at the wrong time and you don't have the public to support you, the people to support you, they'll take you to jail. And then you're no longer any good. So the best thing is to live to fight another day and find ways to navigate the system. I mean, it's easy to stand up and get upset and start shooting, but does that solve the problem necessarily? No, usually doesn't. It might take a lot longer at that point. Sometimes it's better to see, okay, the system's corrupt, all right? It can only be corrupt for so long because corruption can't stand, you know, upon itself. You know, the light of truth will shine on it and evil will fall. But in the meantime, we need to make sure enough people are awake so that we can have that battle and that it will fall overnight, because that's the idea. Let's awaken enough people. So in the meantime, guess what? I'm not going to participate in the evil. I'm going to find ways around it. And I'm, you know, when given an opportunity to let evil occur, I'm going to move the other direction and disarm it. You know, the Underground Railroad's a good example. An administrator at school is, I think, a good example. It's like, hey, you can say, oh, yes, I'm following the rules. Yes, absolutely. And okay, good little boy. And then don't follow the rules. You know how it is when you're a kid. Your parents tell you to do something. You're like, okay. Or you can fight it. You can fight it and say, no, you're stupid. I'm not letting, no, idiot. You know, okay, that's going to get real well for you. you're not going to get anything done. You're going to get things taken away. You're going to get punished. You're going to get grounded, blah, 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 all the things. But if you say, okay, yes, I'm sorry, and then go along and do what you want, they're like, see, everything's great. And then you go and do it anyway. And then they don't know about it. Then if you get caught again, you're like, oh, man, yeah, I know. It's because of this. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. And you get away with a whole lot more at that point. But if you stand there and you fight and you argue and you try and tackle, have that war out in public, somebody gets shot. Somebody gets injured. So don't do it. Just walk away and do what you want to do. I guess that's the point here. Trust yourself and find a way to do it. That's really what it comes down to. So if all this stuff falls apart, trust yourself. Play the game. You're just acting. It's all theater anyway. And then behind stage, you go do what you want to do. All right. Hope you had a wonderful Wednesday. Well, I've talked so long, the whole day's over. No, I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Man. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. A Westwood Wednesday. All right, trust yourselves. That's the most important thing. Trust yourselves. Don't give energy to the vampires. The vampires just want to take all your energy, and you see these vampires all the time. If you're watching the TV, they're vampires. All right. Get your assets in your possession. Do not let a bank hold it. Do not let a custodian hold your crypto. Do not let anybody hold your gold and silver. Get your hands on anything that you can possibly need and hold it in your possession rather than, expecting it to be there when you need it. All right. Love you all. Have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll talk to you again. Maybe tomorrow. All right. Trust yourselves.